To me, probably the freakiest part of this first episode was when Hurley was running away from the cabin as fast as he can, and he's facing away from the cabin, and then he turns around, and it's not there. He turns around, the cabin's not there, and then when he turns around again, the way he was facing when he was running, the cabin's there. So to me, it's almost as if the cabin isn't really like actually there. It's just everyone who goes there is just seeing it. Jacob's like summoning them or something. It reminds me of like a level in Zelda or something where it's always forward wherever you look. Just about Hurley in general. If I don't think, and other people think this too on the message boards, that he's even supposed to be on the island. If you remember towards the beginning of the first season when he's running because he's late to get on the plane, the stewardess says, you're not supposed. Maybe you're not supposed to be on this plane. Maybe you're not supposed to make it. Also, he's mentioned several times the island. I'm not even supposed to be here. In Locke's dream, when he takes the drugs in the Echo's little tent after being imploded by the hatch, and he can't talk. If you remember in that vision, Hurley's the only one of the people that were on the plane that isn't in line to board the plane. He's actually one of the boarding attendants, I think it is, but all I know is that he wasn't in the actual line. And I remember Desmond was the pilot, but he also wasn't on the plane. So maybe it just shows that he wasn't supposed to be there on the island. Maybe that's why he's one of the Oceanic Six, just because the island doesn't need him. Another weird thing I saw in this episode was when Kate, she stole the phone from Jack. I'm not sure why, for no apparent reason. Maybe she just wanted to make the call herself. But if you notice in the calls, the first call to Jack, it's a pretty nice, friendly sounding guy. And then the second time when Kate calls, it's just a guy that sounds pretty evil to me. Not sure why that is. He wants to know where Jack is, wants to talk to him. And then the next time they call, it's the friendly guy again, so it seems like two different people to me. Another interesting thing in the episode was when Naomi's talking to the guy on the phone and basically covers for Kate lying, saying that all she did was fall, and that's why she's hurt and hasn't been able to talk, and that Kate was just covering for her so they wouldn't get upset. And she also tells the guy to tell her sister that she loves her. So obviously the sister is pretty important. It's probably someone we already know or someone we'll find out about soon. I personally think, and some of the other people on the boards have thought, that it's Walt's mom or Michael's ex-wife. And that makes sense to me. They're around the same age. They look somewhat similar. And Walt's pretty important. Obviously Miss Clue wanted her. The others wanted him. Or they wanted him. And so maybe they could be looking for Walt. Maybe that's one of the reasons why they're there. We haven't really found out all about Walt yet and what he is capable of. Obviously, he had a lot of important things about him, so we'll find out soon, hopefully. One of the most important things, I think, in the episode was towards the end, actually, when Hurley's outside of the mental ward and one of his fellow nutcases is kind of ducking his head and looking over to the side and tells Hurley, "Oh, you have someone staring at you." And it turns out to be Charlie. And if that guy didn't say that, you'd probably think it'd be another Dave, just one of his imagination. But since that one guy saw it, to me it seems like Charlie was actually there. And Charlie also says, what does this say? He says, I know, it's kind of freaky, but just hear me out. So I don't think an imagination would say that. Obviously Dave didn't say that when he was on the island. Another just thing that wowed me in the episode was when Jack had the gun over Locke, and no one thought he would shoot him, but he actually pulled the trigger, and luckily it was unloaded. I like Locke a lot, so good thing he didn't get killed off. And off the top of my head, I don't think Jack has killed anyone. And I know, going to Locke, he couldn't even kill his dad, who basically made his life a living nightmare. And he killed Naomi without even basically knowing her, and really fast. So obviously Naomi was very dangerous to him and caused a threat, a bigger threat than his dad did. Another funny thing I found was some guy on the message boards was saying that the word ho, H-O, is mentioned 3 times in the episode. One of the times is when when Hurley is freaking out over Matthew Abaddon there, you can see a small figurine that says the word "ho" on it, H-O. And then when they're playing, Jack and Hurley are playing horse, the last thing mentioned was "ho," H-O, when Jack misses. And Jack says that. And then also when Hurley sees Charlie in the department store that starts the whole thing, he's by the ho-hos. So just another interesting fact, those three hoes. Jack and Hurley, when they're playing horse and basketball, Jack mentions that he wants to grow a beard, and they both kind of laugh a little bit. And that right there just tells me that this flash forward occurs before the one at the end of season 3, the last episode. And also, Jack is a little more sane this episode. He's a little crazier the last episode of last season. So I think this episode's occurred first. And maybe they'll do that. The flash forwards, maybe they might occur, each one occurring before, until they meet up at a certain point when they get off the island. By the way, that's one of the polar bears from Lost, laying on my bed right there. So yeah, that's all I have for you guys at the moment on the first episode of Lost in season 4. I thought it was a great episode. Hopefully you guys all liked it too, and can't wait for next Thursday. I hope you guys found some interesting, different secrets that happened, maybe some of the things you didn't miss unless you went frame by frame throughout the whole episode. I know there's a lot of things I'm sure I missed. If you guys want to leave comments telling me what I did miss or if I got anything wrong. Anyways, God bless, and I will hopefully see you on Friday. Bye-bye.